Morning, friends. Uh, Today I'll be presenting a different view on the situation in Afghanistan. You can say that it's part two of my Afghan videos. In my earlier videos, I talked about a different point of view wherein I talked about that we need not be scared of Taliban, and as long as we do not interfere in their matters, they will not trouble us, right? But today I'll try to present a totally different and opposite view than that regarding Taliban and the situation in Afghanistan. I'll try to speak in both the languages, mixed languages, Hindi and English both, in this video. So here we go. Now the thing is कि Taliban, to a different, if we talk about a different view, Taliban is actually a monster. Why I say this? It is because Taliban works on a fundamental principle of caliphate. What it means is कि इस्लाम में, I mean, the extreme view of they accept the extreme view of Islam, and उसमें clearly लिखा है कि Islam is the only worthwhile religion, and the flag of Islam should fly high all over the world, right? So Taliban is an extremist organization who wants to basically uh, make sure that Islam as a religion is accepted all over the world. And obviously, when you will try to do that, the other religions will oppose you and there will be a clash, right? However, there are multiple players here in Afghanistan. So the thing is, what has happened is there has been a silent clandestine deal between Pakistan, China, and Taliban. I'll tell you what is the deal. See, what happens is we all know that China wants to control the whole of South Asia. It sees itself as the next big superpower, and it wants to expand its hold all over Asia, or perhaps later all over world. So what they do is, because they have money, they have an economy of $15 trillion, so they have lots of money to spend. So basically what has happened is Chinese have given the ex-president Ghani the money to basically quit the government, and currently basically there is no government in Afghanistan. So uh, taking the money, he ran off. there are reports ki his his helicopter was so overloaded with money, few million dollars had to be thrown away just like that to minimize the weight, and then his helicopter took off, right? So that's one thing which has happened. Second, on 15th of August, Taliban took over Kabul, which technically ensured that they have a complete control of uh, Afghanistan. They also basically entered the Afghanistani parliament, which India constructed, and the moment they entered the parliament, it was game over for the Afghan government, and the Taliban rule officially started. Now, just 2 days after that, on let's say, I guess 18th or 17th August, Taliban representative, who is actually the number two in Taliban, went to went to China, and he was given a huge welcome by China, and behind the closed doors, he was assured that they will get full backing of China, meaning Taliban will get the full backing of China, the weapons, the money, and logistics will be taken care by Pakistan, right? So the game has begun. US is out. China, Pakistan, and Afghanistan have unofficially, I mean, Taliban has officially entered Afghanistan, and or we can say they were already there. It's just that officially ruling Afghanistan now, and from behind, Pakistan and China are supporting them. China with money, Pakistan with logistics and weapons. So, why China is doing it? It's a very simple game. They have a new they have a new friendship ongoing with Iran. Although it's in another Islamic country, but it's a very oil rich country. India was Iran used to be the friend of India, and we built the Chabahar port over there as well. Had it been a successful transition, we would have got the oil from Iran at a one third price. But because we gave into the pressure from USA, that deal was completely scrapped. US told us that don't you dare buy the petrol from Iran, otherwise we will, end all the ties with you. So Indian government spooked and cancelled that deal with Iran. So, weighing in the opportunity, China quickly went to Iran, completed the unfinished work of India, and struck a deal with Iran that you give us oil and other gases at a half price, and we'll take care of everything. We'll probably even do a veto if USA comes to attack you on any of the subjects, right? So why Afghanistan is so strategically important is because it's geographically, like I told you earlier in my earlier video also, it's geographically beautifully placed. So if you see the map of Asia, on the western side there is Iran, then there is Afghanistan, then there is Pakistan, then there is India. Technically, then there is actually POK, which is Pakistan occupied Kashmir, right? And close to it is Khyber Pakhtoon, which which actually Pakistan ceded to China. So technically, it's a Chinese land now. It is close to Siachen, right? So Chinese can easily pass on the line, that pipeline through that route. And once that is done, China's energy problem are more or less resolved for next 100 years. If not 100 years, definitely for next 60 70 years, their energy requirements are will be met, and at a half price. It will be a huge financial gain for China. That's why they are after that BRI, which is Belt and Road Initiative, right? So this is the whole game. Taliban Talibanis are basically hungry for money, right? So Chinese will give them money via Pakistan or directly. It's up to them, right? So all this could be possible in next 10 to 15 years if everything goes as per the Chinese plan. Chinese plan has been helped greatly by almost incompetent and almost stupid government sitting in USA. Joe Biden is unfortunately a very weak president. We all know how they were able to beat uh, Republicans. The truth will come out very soon. In USA, at least, uh, you can't hide the truth for long. So before the next election, how Joe Biden won or how these Democrats won will be out in open, right? And China has actually sensed this. In fact, China, sometimes I feel that China and Biden are hand in glove with each other. Basically, they are secretly friends behind the doors. They might give galis to each other publicly, but behind the doors, they are good friends. That's what my gut feeling is. Because you can't be that stupid. US army cannot be that stupid unless they are given orders or complicit with Chinese or Talibanis. They basically just left their whole weaponry just like that. And it's laying over the aircraft, the helicopter, the Black Hawks, the F-16s. They are just laying there, and there is nobody to fly them. Nobody has the technical know-how to fly them. Talibanis can't fly them. They are not educated enough to fly those sophisticated machines. But they have just left them just like that. God knows for whom. I know. I mean, we know the people who know the defense thing. They know why they have been left. They have been basically left. Those weaponry has been basically left because Chinese are brilliant in re-engineering the things. So what will happen is secretly all those weaponry via Pakistan will go to China, and they will re-engineer the F-16, they will re-engineer the Black Hawks helicopters. They will do that. You will see all that stuff happening in next 10 to 15 years. Because Chinese were after F-16 engines like hell. Since last 40 years they have been after the technology of F-16. Not sure why uh, US Army Air Force can be so stupid, and the US defense should be so stupid to leave all those weaponry behind. And right now as we speak, those weaponry is under the control of Taliban. They are just like those monkeys who can't use them. There was a joke also that you know hundreds of monkeys were sitting on a BMW car. They conquered it, but they don't know how to drive it. So exactly the same position with Talibanis. They have conquered the weaponry, but they don't know how to use it. Basically, they will give it to Pakistan, and Pakistan will give it to their father, China, to re-engineer. And all this has a direct implication on India. I'll tell you why. See, what happens is China basically wants to control this thing. Apart from the petrol thing and energy thing, they want to also control the Afghani $3 trillion rare earth minerals, which are used in mobile and many other you know technical gadgets which they make. So that is also the game. I mean, there is absolutely nothing to lose for China, and nobody is stopping. The one man who could have stopped, the US people have thrown him out of power, and that is Donald Trump. अब भुगतो, अभी नहीं भुगतोगे, 10 साल 10-15 साल बाद भुगतोगे, right? Now the question arises, what is the solution? How we can control or defeat Taliban, who has the backing of who has an indirect or direct backing of China and Pakistan. See, the only option we have is, as soon as we have a change of government in US, that means we have, instead of Democrats, we have Republicans in power, and possibly Trump in power, then with the help of France and USA. It's a very radical idea I'm suggesting, but this is on paper and technically it is possible. So, with the help of USA and France, we can reoccupy POK. This, if India is able to reoccupy POK, it will completely break the chain of BRI, right? So the pipeline which they are thinking will not come up, right? The supply which happens of weaponry, that will be stopped to Taliban, right? And via POK, the terrorist activities which Pakistan do on Indian soil, that is on Kashmir, that will also be stopped. But the question is a Indian government willing to take that bold step? Well, the answer is very simple. The current ruling government of India, if any government can do it, only they can do it. They have, in fact, even behind closed doors, they have even give it us. They have even given it a serious thought. But because that's an international matter and it needs support of few very international powers like USA, France, Britain, Japan, Australia, they all will be on our side. But most importantly, USA should be backing us to do that. Without the international support, I'm afraid it is not possible, right? So we'll have to wait for another 2 3 years when the government changes in USA. Hopefully it will, and then probably we can think about that, reoccupying the POK, right? Because our army, air force, they all are more than capable to do that. Will it lead to a world war or something? Possibly, yes, but that is something uh, of a risk which we need to assess and take. Though I personally don't think that it will lead to a world war. Obviously, it will lead to a fight between India and Pakistan, which China will support Pakistan, and India needs to get the support of USA, Britain, France, Israel, Japan, and Australia, which most probability they will do, at least politically and diplomatically they will do, and that's all we need, because we do have the weaponry and you know we have the weaponry and military strength to do that. That is possible, right? So that's one thing. But in the meantime, that's a long term plan I'm suggesting, right? It won't happen immediately. Probably in 5 years or 8 years it may happen. But what we can do immediately is, we can, if not openly, silently support Amarullah Saleh. Now, who is this guy? He is actually one Afghani, a very powerful Afghani, who is actually not giving up, and he is willing to fight the Talibanis. He is located in Panjshir Valley. If you pick up the map of Afghanistan, Panjshir Valley actually has a border with POK. So if you occupy POK, you have a direct access to Afghanistan. So you can give endless supply of weapon and money to Amarullah Saleh and hope that he will defeat Taliban again. They have done that in past. In fact, Panjshir Valley is the only province of Afghanistan which Taliban has no control over. Not even USA had it, not even Russia had it. Earlier, it was managed by Masood Azhar, who was who was called the Sher of Panjshir, and he was killed in a suicide bomb attack. Now his son is there, and this guy, Umarullah Saleh, has also gone there to fight the Talibanis. Actually, it is a hilly terrain, so the tanks and all these things are very difficult to move over there. It's a valley which has thousands and thousands of caves, so it's very tough to intrude and occupy. So that's why nobody has been able to occupy that particular part of Afghanistan. And the geographically and tactically it is so beautifully placed that it is actually touching borders with India, although not in current context. It is actually touching border with POK. So that's why the occupation of POK by Indian forces will boost the fight against Taliban in long run, right? One more thing which we can do is we can see, we all know that Baluch revolution is ongoing in Pakistan. Baluchistan is one of the biggest provinces of Pakistan, and they want independence from Pakistan. Pakistan army occupied Baluchistan, which was a independent country in, I guess, 1959, if I'm not mistaken, right? So the fight for the independence is ongoing in Balochistan from past so many years. So we need to basically recognize Balochistan as a different country. We need to open consulate of Balochistan in Delhi and give Pakistan something to think about. Do the same thing which they are doing in Kashmir to us. Do the same thing in Balochistan. Divert their attention. We can do that. So these are the things which we can do. Now the conclusion is, what would be the end result of all this hardline actions? Because in my previous video I talked about not taking any actions and let uh, Taliban do what they are doing and do not interfere. That's one point of view. In this video I have given a completely different point of view, which what aggressive actions which we can take to defeat Taliban. So the choice is yours. I am just here to give the opinion. whatever opinion you know you think is best of containment or of destruction. You tell me in the comments which one you liked. uh, so it's for you to decide. Both has its own repercussions, and long term and short term. So do comment and share your views. Do subscribe to my channel. Do like my videos, and possibly if you want, if you like the videos, please share it also to your friends and family. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you.